On this episode of Top Gear, Nolan shits his pants. No! No! Hey guys, it's WAM.
God, my head. Hey everybody, welcome to WAM. Episode. What is?
Is it 9?
9?
Is it
Episode
8?
9? I think we're episode 9.
It is episode 9. Oh my gosh, double digits.
Stop.
Did I make that joke last time?
Yes.
I forgot.
So this week we watched Nacho Libre.
Yeah, Nacho Libre.
2006, I think it came out. It was released there.
It was around that era.
It was really good.
I liked it a lot.
I think a sleeper, honestly. Because initially, like, when it released for critic reviews, it got, like, about a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes with 166 reviews.
Was it really that low?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It wasn't good. It was produced by Nickelodeon and Paramount.
I felt like a Nickelodeon movie. I was wondering if it was.
Jack Black was also a producer on it, which was pretty cool.
That is cool. I can see that a little bit. It feels like his style of comedy, but only at points.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it does the comedy well, and it doesn't kind of like bury it at all. But the reason Jack Black was a producer is because he loved Napoleon Dynamite so much, and the director, whatever, his last name is Hess, so Jack Black wanted to work with Hess really bad.
Yeah. Is it Jesse Hess?
That might be it. Yeah.
I'm not.
It's a J.
Yeah.
But either way, Jack Black wanted to work with Hess because of Napoleon Dynamite, so they started to kind of like throw something together and then came up with this. And Jack Black was really concerned about portraying a Hispanic character, and he was like, no, don't worry, it's a white guy. And he's like, whew, good.
Well, he is half white.
Yeah, isn't it just like on the wiki page? It's just like it says like Jack Black is abandoned by his family because they were killed when he was a baby, and like I never got that part.
Oh well, it was he was hitting on the new nun, and he pulls out a photo of his family from his shirt, and he's like, "This is my very white dad, and this is my Mexican mother, and they were lovely." And she's like, "Aw." And then he says, "Then they died," and he shoves it back in his shirt really slowly.
Yeah, I would too. His Hispanic accent is very like Bad Mario sometimes. It's really funny.
It's good.
It's so good. I think it's totally work like perfect for the character. But this movie also spawned one thing, and I'll give you 2 chances to guess what it is.
Spawned?
Yeah.
What's can I have like a genre to think about?
Okay, so because of this movie,
Yeah.
Nacho Libre expanded in a new direction.
Did this cause Tropic Thunder?
So, that's not a new medium.
Oh, new medium.
One more.
WWE? Nacho Libre invented WWE?
So, they made a Nintendo DS game that was based around Nacho Libre after this movie released, after it got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, that usually around this time there was the big fad of like when you make a movie, it comes with a game, just so that you can sell both. Yeah.
But so I mean, now we can just get into the movie. I guess we should probably start that.
I want to know what the video game's like. What the hell?
Too bad. You can look it up later on our second podcast, DS WAM. You know? Anyway.
DS WAM.
Yeah, DS WAM. So why don't you start us off? Like, walk us through the start of the movie?
Okay, the start of the movie, we're still seeing the credits go by, but we very quickly learn about a little bit about our character. We see a young Nacho sort of stealing stuff from his orphanage that he's at, and he puts on his own wrestling costume. You see him sort of messing around. I don't necessarily remember what he hits or what he gets attacked with.
He's in like a graveyard, and then they hit him with blankets.
Oh yeah. The nuns find him. They clean him up, they get pissed at him, and then he gets sent back into the orphanage. That's a quick, like, 1 minute, maybe 2 minute scene. And then right after that, we see that he's still at this orphanage. He's like
He's in the kitchen.
20, yeah, he's like 27 years old. He still sleeps with the orphans.
Mhm.
Um, or at
Well,
least
he
he
sleeps
still
in the
hangs
same
out with them.
building.
Yeah.
They're his
eh,
friends.
yeah. Um, but now he is a cook for the orphanage that he was raised at. And we learn very quickly that it's not a great orphanage. He doesn't have any money given there. His biggest problem is that he has no money to feed the children because there's just so little funding.
It's not that they're, like, bad people, they just have no money. They're very poor.
Well,
Um,
a lot of the church is bad people for conflict purposes.
I mean, maybe, but it was an orphanage run by monks.
Hmm.
Um, I'm assuming they were Catholic, I
Yeah,
think. Isn't that what
it's.
monks are? That whole scene in the movie, how we started out with,
Hmm.
Nacho stealing everything and then just, like, playing around with a wrestler, like, in the graveyard, just, like, pretending to fight people.
Yeah.
It immediately shows us, like, who this character is and his upbringing and everything, where it's just this little boy in the orphanage with no friends playing by himself, where he just wants to be a wrestler, and then he's, like, punished for it and stuck in this kitchen, and then it flashes back into that kitchen, like we said, and he's still there, and that's where he's been since. And I
Hmm.
think through this movie, like, so Ignacio, like Jack Black is goofy through this whole movie. He never drops the act, and like that's just how the character is.
Well,
And
okay.
hmm?
There's I don't know if it's dropping the act, but there are times when he is supposed to be portrayed as really angry and, like, taken aback that the accent completely goes away. My favorite part is when side character to him says, "I hate orphans," and you just hear Jack Black in his perfect Jack Black voice say, "What did you say?"
Yeah, he does just speak every once in a while, but
Yeah.
it is Jack Black. It's okay.
Yeah.
But, like, as silly and goofy and, immature as Ignacio is, at his core, at his center, he is just like a little orphan boy at that orphanage because
Mhm.
he's lived there his entire life. I mean, he acts giddy and like a schoolboy with a crush later on, like, staring at her and, like, pouring the food wrong and, like, literally like a child, because he was raised at this place and sheltered him from, like, so many other things in what I'm sure is a small town too, and like his friends are the children. He's just a big child, and it's really good though. It works for this movie. And the scenes putting them later on in the same red cape when he leaves the monastery that we'll get to,
Mhm.
it just only like kind of hammers that in even more.
Yeah. I will say that's probably what Jack Black does best. If you are gonna have him in a movie, have him be a man child.
Yeah, he's a really good man child, but he's a believable, emotional man child,
Mhm.
and that's what we love.
Yeah. Okay. What is next in the plot? Well, I guess what happens next is our love interest is brought in.
Yeah, what was her name? I don't.
The nun. We're calling her the nun.
Yeah, whatever.
I know
Lore.
one person's name, and it's Nacho.
A joke. So, yeah, there's this lady nun that Nacho's into, and then God, what is it? Does he Oh, yeah. He likes this nun, he, like, gives her pieces of bread and stuff. We just kinda see the
Mhm.
start, like, budding of their relationship where she doesn't
Yeah.
really reciprocate a lot of it, but she's kind of like she chuckles and kinda, like, smiles back at him like she thinks he's cute kinda thing,
Yeah.
but we never hear a lot from her. Um and then we continue on. Nacho's there. He's serving breakfast to the orphans. But the night before, when he rode out to get chips from the city for the orphans,
He
he
got
was
robbed.
attacked. Yeah, he was jumped by a homeless, scrawny man, who's deceivingly smart, which is really weird. But it's like thrown in at random times. And so Ignacio doesn't have any chips or spices or whatever, and the other monks at the orphanage are like, "What the fuck is this? This is gross. It has no flavor and no chips."
And
And
he
then everyone's complaining, and the old guy's like, "Guys, shut up. This is what God gave us for lunch today." And they're like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's like the biggest idea or the biggest part where we're explicitly told, "Hey, we don't got shit. We need money."
Mhm.
Um, and earlier around the time that we see him buying these things, we had saw Ignacio shopping around town, and he sees the very popular wrestler in his town with a woman by his side, and a ton of crowds of people around him, just like idolizing him. And that's sort of putting an idea in his head of like, well, that's how you get famous. You got to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, and then God, what happens a little bit through it? I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
Okay, the I it's been about a day since I've seen this movie, and right after I watched this, I went and watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is like known as like one of the only films from the 21st century to have like gotten huge accolades in like awards and shit. Um, and the entire time I was watching that, I was trying my hardest to make sure that I remember everything of Nacho Libre I could, because that's a lot more important, obviously. Um, and the only thing I could remember was the fact that every time that Nacho Libre jumps, it plays the exact same fart reverb sound effect.
It's so bad too, it's low quality.
it's it's
It's
not
so
even
good. It's
my
so good.
favorite part is that I feel as if it wasn't planned until they were in post production, because there's no real fart joke. There's no fart joke that's like planned in the script, it
Well,
seems.
no,
What?
there's one.
Wait, what is it?
Nacho is in a bathroom, they
Yeah.
lost their first fight. He says, "That was amazing, I can feel something in me, something I've never felt before," and then he does a little, "Huh," and then you hear a in the toilet. He does a poopy joke. 'Feel
40
something, something I've never felt before.'"
40% on Rotten Tomatoes. What were they thinking?
That's what I'm saying. But, yeah, so later on, Ignacio goes into the village, he sees Ramses, that, like, top wrestler, this kinda gold guy,
Mhm.
um, and the orphans, they want a signature and everything from him.
Mhm.
Um, this is kinda later on in the movie a little bit, but, the orphans want a signature from him, and he essentially is like, "Nah," and turns around, Ignacio's like, "Bro," taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, "Come on, they're orphans. You're the best. Let's go." And he like,
He
yucks him
bitch smacks
into,
him.
yeah, into a fucking, like, a cart, and the orphan's like, but, back to
Mm.
the beginning of the movie. So
Uh,
yeah?
I think right after this, we get to the, I might be missing some things, but we see Ignacio start to get a light bulb idea. He's like, "Okay, I'm starting to think of what I can do." And his first thought is, "I'm gonna go back to where I got robbed, and I'm gonna throw some chips out there, and when the scrawny dude comes back like he's like a stray cat to eat it,
We haven't
I'm
gotten to the
gonna."
part where he leaves the monastery yet. Hasn't
Oh, well, no, okay, he said he
Yeah.
left the monastery and he'd come back once he has money, right after,
Yeah,
people
right
said that his
after they were
food was
complaining
shit.
about the food, yeah,
Yeah.
because then right after that, they were all complaining, and he's like, "Well, I'm not meant for let's, let's restart from there so we don't go in, like, a circle a little bit."
Yeah, okay.
Um, so then, yeah, just say, like,
Okay.
whatever, like, after they complain about
Yeah.
the food, then
Yeah.
go into that.
Okay. Okay, so the plot or the timeline is right after they're all complaining about the food, right as everybody's saying, "This is, like, the worst thing I've ever had," Ignacio has this really heartfelt speech where he's like, "Well, maybe I wasn't meant to do this. Maybe there were better things for me."
"Whatever, dad, I don't care."
And then he runs out and he's sad, and, the little kid asks when he'll be back, doesn't he? Because there's a
Yeah,
little
he
kid,
he's like, "Aren't you coming back?" It's like a small, like, kinda fat kid,
Chacha.
yeah, who, like, mirrors, Ignacio when he was a little kid, it might even be, like it's not the same actor, but it's
Yeah,
really similar.
it's Nacho
Um,
and Chacha, let's be honest here.
that's really the movie we're looking for, that's the sequel. But,
Chacho Libre?
Yeah, that's the you're excited, it's good. But my favorite part about that scene where Nacho leaving the church is, it pans to it's a still shot of this one kid, and you just see the, like, path of where tear had fallen down his face, and he's just
Oh,
looking away,
yeah.
and it's so funny because there's no lines, there's nothing, it's
Uh,
just music and just like, "No."
the shots in this are great.
Oh, they were really good,
I
like,
mean,
the editing was really snappy and quick
yeah.
when it needed to be,
I
and
think
it would yeah.
I think one of the best things about it is, first of all, the set design looks, phenomenal, especially the
Mhm.
church. The church
Yeah.
from afar, when you look at it, it has such a height to it, it's really well designed, and it's on these beautiful hills, and it
Mhm.
just makes every shot look interesting.
It was filmed on location, like, in Mexico, like, the very, like, more southern part of Mexico on,
Mm,
the outside when it starts to curve back in to meet South America, it was right there. It starts with
on
a
the
Q, and I couldn't
tail.
pronounce it, so I didn't write it down, but
Ah, they filmed it in queso.
yeah, exotic.
Um,
Yeah, so Nacho leaves and, then he gets jumped by this guy, and he's like, "Bro, wait, listen,
well,
what
no,
if
he doesn't
we"
get jumped.
or no, yeah, you're right, he catches him because he leaves out, like, cashews.
Yeah, it's the same guy who jumped him, so he just throws out some chips, and then he jumps down from the sky like a stray cat. He starts yap 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 yap, and then Naso just runs at him, and I think that's the first fart joke, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's oh god, this movie is like I don't know, Nacho is like he's stupid. He's really stupid,
What do you
and sometimes he's a
mean?
little too stupid, but it's also a comedy, and he kinda needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely Napoleon Dynamite-esque, and I didn't even realize that was the same director, but it makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
It's what even is that kind of stupid? It's oh, this is the best way to put it. It's stupid the same way that, like, a slow internet connection is stupid. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, I'm thinking I'm thinking, like, when I think about these characters, every time I think they're thinking of something, I can see the little Internet Explorer wheel turning in their
You
head.
can see them buffering.
Yes.
Yeah. Um So, Ignacio, lures him out with cashews on the floor and then jumps him, and he almost gets away, and he's like, "Hey, wait, don't you wanna stop being, like, on the bottom? Are you tired of being kicked down? I know I am." And he's like, "Oh my god," and then they end up, teaming up, and they're immediately, like, buddies, and they're cool.
Yeah, and they're a
Um,
wrestling team.
yeah, and they go to an amateur wrestling match
Well, wait, wait,
with
wait, wait. My
what?
favorite bit's right in between that. My
Hmm.
favorite bit is when they're doing their training montage, and I'm sure there was almost no plan for what the training montage would be going into it, because none of this shit is anything related to training.
Ooh,
It
yeah. It was like shooting a bow and arrow, like, at
Yeah.
him and, like, that's
And
the only one I remember,
and
but, like,
throwing a beehive at each other.
yeah, that was good.
There's
Um,
none of it was related to getting buff.
it's
It
really
was
important,
just
it builds
let's
character.
the arrow one really got me because there's just no advantage.
It's just funny, it's just good.
Yeah, and then we see them enter into their first competition. Um, this was a tag team match. The first one wasn't as recognizable as the rest of them
What was
are.
the first fight? Who was it?
Mm.
Was it anybody or was it just, like, a guy? I feel like it was just guys.
No, this was when they were still doing tag team matches, so it would have been 2 dudes, but I don't think they were necessarily anything special. There's
Yeah.
one that stands out, one of the 2 tag team groups.
Are you talking about
Um,
the furries?
that's the trait you first go to?
Yeah.
Not that they're like rabid animal midget people?
No, they're furries. They prefer, small creatures.
Rodents?
Hey, now, that is a slur to them. Do
I
not
I
say
I
that.
won't say that, I won't say that.
Jesus, you're gonna get
Uh,
killed if you call him a rodent. What are you thinking? But
oh,
Nacho has his first debut fight, they're just in, like, sweatpants and gear and stuff like that, nothing special.
He was
Um
doing really good too until he
Mhm.
started celebrating.
Yeah, he started getting cocky, ripped his shirt out, the crowd was all screaming his name, and then they got whooped, and they're in the, like, locker room afterwards, they're really
Mhm.
sad about winning. Nacho makes a poopy joke, and then, the other guy comes back, and he gives them money, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And the guy I this he was sounded like such a good guy, he's like, "We all get a piece," and I'm like, "Oh man, what a guy." Um
Is this the same old guy that we just see throughout the film that's always just reacting to whatever fight they're in? He, like, never misses a match?
No, it does actually change throughout the movie,
Different
sadly.
old people?
I was hoping it was the same guy, it's different people each time.
Oh my god, why do
'Cause
they
he
all
totally
look so
changes
similar?
venues, like, he gets him a fight, but the fight's in, like, a nicer place
Well, what if he just, like, came as a fan instead of like a
instead of,
owner?
like, a whatever he was part of it. I think
Yeah.
I'd like to think that Nacho gave him front seats.
It's so weird that we only see, like, audience reactions from some old guy that he has a beautiful, strange face.
He's so kind.
He is so kind.
But, they get paid for losing the match, and then they realize, "Holy shit," and so they keep doing it, and, they keep losing a handful of matches, right? And so Nacho takes his money back, and he gives some to the church, buys them all food.
And
His
then
sidekick buys, like, flashy clothes.
he also buys really stupid shoes.
Hey, those are stylin' boots, okay? Because he doesn't wanna change out his robe or nothing, but he gets nice boots, and that's okay. And then Nacho is cooking at the place,
Mhm.
and he gets caught on fire, and he, like, sprints outside, his robe's burning away,
Is that when
and,
he's cooking or is that when he's praying?
or it's when he's praying, you're right.
Yeah, that's a
That's
little
later on,
bit
yeah.
yeah, that's later
Um,
on.
because then Nacho and him start going through with fights and everything, and they keep losing, and Nacho's just kinda sad that he doesn't really wanna lose anymore, he wants to win,
Mhm.
and I forget, isn't the other guy just, like, kinda like, "Shut the fuck up," or, like, I forget what.
No, the other guy, when he says, "Man, I really wanna stop losing," he goes, "I know this guy that's like a seance or something. He can get us winning."
Oh my god. The eagle eggs.
The eagle ends. The seance tells him, "Hey, I'm gonna take you to this mountain. If you can climb up it and eat an eagle's egg, you gain its powers."
Climb up the mountain, find the egg, drink its yolk, and you'll gain the strength of an eagle.
He does that, and you see him, like, crack into an eagle egg with a rock and then drink it, and he looks really stupid
It's kinda
doing
chunky.
it. And then this is when the best fart joke is, and it's the same setup as every other fart joke. It's just him jumping and it going, and then
Hey, man, you don't know comedy, okay? I don't think you understand what the fuck's going on here, but that shit was gold,
it
okay?
was so
Everyone
good.
laughed.
It was
Everyone stood up and
so
clapped in the theaters whenever that happened. They said, "Oh my god, this movie really is the best thing ever made."
this premiered at Cannes Film Festival, and it got a 12-minute standing ovation.
Jesus.
They'll give anything a standing ovation at Cannes.
Yeah, I give their sauce their a standing ovation, or really the bread too, you know?
I don't have you been to Cannes? Like, the
Cane's like
place in
Cane's chicken, that's what that's the that's the bit.
I wanna say thank you to Nick for all of your time spent on WAM. It's so sad that it's your last day.
I run the thing. Um, yeah, so Nacho starts getting all lavish. They start buying things and they wanna win, and they get the eagle egg. He slurps it up, does a fart, falls back into the ocean. And now they get back into the fight. He's ready. He's summoning his eagle powers. He's prepared for battle, Nolan. What happens?
He loses.
What the fuck? But
What
eagle egg didn't
happened?
work.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was foolproof. I was really thinking it was gonna work.
he was
He was
pissed.
flapping his wings and
Yeah.
everything.
They have a next plan after that to try to get into, better shape. I know their next plan, but before that, with all the money that Ignacio has from wrestling, he gets some nice clothes on, and he's able to convince, the nun
Woman.
to go on a date with him. Not a date, but just, like, to hang out with him, where the plan is he wants to show off his muscles without being like, show off his strength without being sinful, because wrestling is a sin, and he's had to hide his identity for all this
Yeah,
time.
it's important.
So, he plans to have his wrestling buddy get some people together, to, like, rob them so that he can beat them up and appear tough.
Yeah, and, like, win the fight.
What ends up happening, Nick?
So, Nacho walks out, he does a little good butt squeeze that was, like, put in all the commercials and everything, that's really stapled with this movie.
I forgot.
Um,
Yeah.
how did you forget that? It's a part of it.
No, I
Um
saw the movie, I just forgot about the marketing.
But, also there's an earlier shot where when they're training in that montage where they're sprinting, that's my one con about this movie. It's at 21:46. They're both sprinting straight at the camera, they're racing each other. No one decided to wear a cup that day or even, like, briefs or anything. Um,
Is there a dick out?
just everything's bouncing around.
Wait, wait,
Both of
what time is
of
that
their
again?
outfits, 21:46. You can go to
Okay,
YouTube. This is free on YouTube, by the
free
way,
on
for
YouTube,
everybody.
21:46.
Yeah, they're wearing
I
he's wearing
think I
sweatpants.
am.
Um,
I am.
yeah. Are you going
I
there?
think I am. Should I go watch it right
Yeah,
now?
no, you can later, don't worry.
Okay.
But, that was really my only con about the movie. Just no one decided to cover that up that day, or even just, like, zoom in a little bit maybe, but whatever. Uh, it was
Well,
really bad.
don't forget Jack Black was a producer on this. He could have controlled that.
Oh, he could've, he chose that. He looked at the final film and he's like, "No, it's good."
I fucked up the audio while I was trying to look up the instance of Jack Black's penis, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
That's what you get for trying to be happy. I don't God, where were we?
We were
Ignacio
the date.
is yeah, the date. So he goes out there. Ignacio sees 2 men. He's friends kinda taking a while. He sees 2 random guys and he's like, "Alright, this must be it." They don't really do anything, so he walks over there and provokes them. And then as he's about to, like, get in a fight and the nun's like, "Oh my gosh," then, like, the actual friend walks out with, like, his other homeless buddies who are just random old guys who, like, would never win a fight.
Yeah.
Um, and Nacho's like, "Huh?" And then just turns around and we just see the fist fly into the camera and Nacho just
Hmm.
gets beat.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's really all that's really done with the love interest until a pretty while until the end.
yeah, there's really not it's not a plot line, really, it's just kind of a part of the character more.
Yeah. And then after this, we have the side character, the Nacho go. There's only one way we can be pros, and that's if we get a pro manager.
Mm.
Uh, they sneak into this big manager party. Uh, the other guy, the other guy does it by just jumping on Nacho Libre, and Nacho's expecting him to like pull him over the fence that they jumped, and he just says, "You're so fat, man. I cannot do
Yeah,
that."
he's like, "I don't know. Good luck, though." That's
he
literally
en-
yeah.
he ends up getting in because he pretends to be mariachi,
Mhm.
and that's while he's mariachi, you do see a little bit of, like, real Jack Black come out because there's, at one point while he's blending in with the mariachi, he's told to, like, do a song specifically for what is his name? Caesar?
No.
It's
Get it.
wait, I'm thinking. Ramses.
Ramses is the best.
Jack Black just does the average Jack Black song to Ramses, and Ramses just, like, throws his drink at him
Yeah, and
at
everyone
this.
stops. And the mariachi band also, they totally know that he's, like, not with them and everything, and whenever it comes for, like, them to sing and they'll request it, the guy at the end, he's like, "It's all
It's your
you."
turn.
And Jack Black's like, "What?" And he's like, "It's all you." And,
Well,
like, how to do it.
they were doing a favor, but at the end of the day, he's like, "Hey, I let you in because we're part of the mariachi, but you
Yeah,
also have to deliver for
yeah,
us."
he's like, "Good luck." Um,
My favorite part of this is while all of this is happening,
Oh,
The
the
other
woman?
guy is being chased by just this really fat girl who's getting him through secret tunnels.
Yeah, she's tunneling through the walls. There's a one-off joke about it, or I guess there's 2 little sections, but it's one, like, scene where, they have a small interaction downstairs, after the sidekick walks up and he's like, "I wanna go pro," and they laugh at him and he walks away, and the girl's like, "Oh my god, he's hot." And then he gets away, runs upstairs, and she's like, "How'd you get up here so fast?" And she's like, "I have secret tunnels." And it just pans over to this, like, green screen digital ass, like, tunnel hole in the wall,
Is it
and then,
digital?
like, they have their little, like, conversation, I forget
Mhm.
really about what, I think it's just like, "I
Like
like you," and he's like, "No."
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Um and then he, like, leaves or, like, runs away, and then she, like,
She
immediately
crawls
starts,
through.
like, fast crawling, like, to the hole and, like, shoves furniture out of the
It's
way to get to it. It's so good, and that's
it's
all we
very
ever hear.
obviously speed ramped, and I
Yeah,
love speed ramped comedy so
it's so
much.
good. It's, and I like that they really didn't, like, harp on it and stuff, like, if you did that scene now, I really thought about, like, the character would be going through, and you would definitely be, like, a 2, 3-minute thing, or, like, "I can't get my fat ass through this hole," whatever, they would have to say some like, profanity shit like that, but all we needed to see her,
Yeah.
like, crawl towards the thing and, like, we got the whole joke, and we're like, "Haha, that's funny," and the fact that we didn't see all that more made it, like, that much better.
Yeah, that's
Um
true. These have very short and consistent comedy. This movie has that kind of going for it.
Yeah, it doesn't linger on all the jokes a lot, like, it doesn't treat you like you're stupid, like, "Ooh, look at the keys," like,
Yeah.
or not that as much, but it doesn't treat you like you're stupid and spell
Mhm.
out the jokes and plot points as much.
Yeah.
Like, even at the beginning of the movie, when Nacho first gets the idea to be a wrestler to win money, he looks at a poster for a wrestling match and none of the poster is in English at all. And so as the audience, we can't read anything on there, but just from the music and Nacho's face and the camera work, we get the like entire picture and the feeling and the emotion from that scene.
Yeah.
And it's just done really well in a lot of other places like that throughout this movie.
Mhm. There's only one joke that I think tries to hold, like, long amount to it.
Mm.
Nacho! You did it better than me.
Thank you.
Um, so they're kicked out of this party, both of them. I forgot how the other guy ended up being kicked out.
um,
They slash his tires.
they're just kind of they're just like, oh, you're with him
Mhm.
because he's like, me and my buddy want to go pro, and then later he's like, oh my god, buddy, um, because the woman is dragging dragging him into the hole, that's why.
Oh, shit, yeah.
He's running and she runs out of the hole and grabs his shins, and he, like, falls to the ground, and she's dragging him in on the floor, and he's, like, trying to claw away, and
Secret
Jack Black
tunnel!
yeah, God, shut up, and Blackjack runs to the rescue and hits her with a double bass, um, I think,
Yeah.
um and then, she's like, "Whoop, oop." She's like, "Whoop," straight back in the hole, hits sidekick, and then they're both dazed and get kicked out. They slash the tires, there's a little threatening with some knife, and,
Yeah.
sidekick has some corn, and he throws the corn in the another man's eye. He goes,
Mhm.
"Ah!" And then we're back at the orphanage just outside the shed where they're parking, like, pushing the bike up a hill because the tires are flat.
Yeah. And what? The only thing we really learned from this interaction is specifically that there's one fight that gets you qualified to fight Ramses. It's gonna be like an 8v1 cage match, uh, this Sunday, something like that, and
Sunday, 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 yeah.
that's just what they have to do.
Whoever
Um,
wins this will get to fight Ramses, like, that's the prize.
yeah. There's some stuff in between this. I think is the fire scene right here, or is that later?
I think it's right after.
Okay, yeah. We learn that he's not feeding the people because he's too busy doing this. And like people are pissed off at him. He goes into church and he prays and he sets a candle up and he goes, God, but I'm really good at this, and you gave me these powers of
Mhm.
wrestling.
It's
If
kinda
I
your fault.
Yeah, it's kind of your fault, God. If I make a lot of money, I can feed the orphanage, and maybe that's what you wanted from me, God. And
Mhm.
I don't and I'll be very charitable and I'll only spend like half of my money on stupid shoes.
Yeah.
And right as this is happening, his robe catches on
Yeah.
fire.
and
and
he's
he
like, "I think you want me to go and be like your, like whatever, your religious warrior, as,
"That's what you're
Lucha
telling me,
Libre."
God."
And, and he's like, "If I win this Sunday, like, it's a sign," and as he's telling you, he catches on fire. And, I like how the old man grabs, like, a handful of holy water and, like, tries to throw it on him like it's gonna do anything, and you hear the little, like, "tss" of it, like, going out. Um, and yeah, Nacho sprints outside, he's on fire, his robe is burning up. He finally drops and rolls, but then by the time he gets up and everyone's outside to see if he's okay, it
You can see his
exposes his
leotard.
little luchador pants, under, and sometimes a man just wears stretchy pants alone in his room at night. But, sadly, it's during the day, outside, and not alone, so everyone knows now that he's Nacho Libre or
Well,
just looks
nobody knows
stupid.
that he's Nacho
Yeah,
Libre.
very few, in fact, actually do. But, they know he's weird, and then he leaves again.
Yeah. You have him enter into the 8v1, but, around this time, he's actually separated from his friend, specifically because, he's saying that he's doing this for orphans and how he wants to keep doing this.
I
Um
hate orphans. I hate all the orphans in the whole world.
What did you say?
That was it. God, the ADR in this movie was so bad in some of the fights, it was so funny.
It was it?
It
I
was
never
oh,
really
yeah, it
noticed.
was really bad. It was funny if you really start to watch it. Like, just, like, the mouth noises or, like, the "Ah!" Like, it's just really obviously, like, not them. It's like, it's just so good. Um But yeah, so they have the whole predicament, and then Nacho's now exiled again from the orphanage,
Mhm.
like, because of himself. Or no,
Yeah.
because he says he's a wrestler, and they're like, "Wrestling's a sin," and he's like, "I'm gonna go win money for the orphanage, whatever, blah, 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 and be better than, all these other greedy guys," and then runs
Mhm.
away to the cage match to hopefully win
Yeah.
and then fight, Big Man.
Mhm.
And, I mean, how does the cage match doesn't he
Ca
just get his ass beat? Isn't that it?
Cage match, he does pretty okay at, actually. He's getting better and better. You see his friend gets kicked out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You see I think it comes down to just him, another guy, and obviously, when it's without all that chaos, the other guy easily wins, and that's sort of like a really sad moment for him. But he reconnects with his friend a little bit through that, but not completely resolved. What What specifically happens next? I don't think there's much after this until we get to the final fight.
Yeah, really, it's just, he loses the match, I think he's trying to I forget if he's going back to the orphanage or if he's trying to do something else, but, um he's just in the wilderness, like, by himself. That's what it is,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
wilderness happens to be, like, maybe 4 or 5 yards away from the village, but, his sidekick finds him, and he's like, "How did you find me?" And he tells him
He's
that
like,
the man
"They're
who
all
did
just
win the
looking at
cage
you."
match, there was a small predicament in which an
He got
unnamed
injured?
sidekick, ran over the man's foot or injured him, I think it was his foot or something,
It was his foot.
um, because, like, an orphan tried to take some of his bread or something, he was distracted, either way, sidekick hurt
Yeah.
him, he can't fight Ramses anymore, so now, since he was the runner-up, Nacho and him are gonna be fighting, Big Boy.
We were right at the final fight after, he goes through the wilderness. I love the wilderness scene. That cactus looked tasty.
I would really love to, like I think frying up cactus would be really good. I don't know
Mm,
why, but I feel
yeah.
like it would be tasty.
Like char grilling it?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
But I
I
don't
haven't had
cactus
dinner
has a lot of
today. I'm
moisture
so
in it,
hungry.
though.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I feel like maybe it would be gummy.
It'd be maybe like squash.
Ooh, dehydrated cactus chips? I could do that. You
Oh my god, you're making me so hungry.
know what I'm saying?
For
Anyway,
cactus.
or cactus, yummy cactus.
Yummy cactus.
Um, yeah, for the final fight, was it a two-person match in the final fight?
I
Or
th
was it a one-on-one? I mean, it had to be a two-person, right?
It was two-person, but it was I think it was Ramses, and then you had his sidekick helping, but it was
Mostly Ramses.
mostly Ramses versus
Oh,
Nacho.
wasn't it, didn't the sidekick, like, go out of the ring or something, so they were kind of separated?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. So Nacho was in the ring fighting Ramses, and then sidekick was out there, doing sidekick things.
Mhm.
Um, And, as Nacho's fighting, he's losing pretty bad. I forget what's happening to his sidekick. He's probably also losing or something.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody's getting thrown around.
yeah, and, Nacho looks out and he sees the nun walk in with all the orphans there with her in tow.
They're
Um,
watching.
yeah, and they're
Whoa.
here to watch Nacho, and he's like, "Oh my god." And then Nacho gets, like, hit some more, of course, because like, haha, funny.
Yeah.
Um, and, I mean, yeah, you can round it out.
He gains his eagle powers. He gains his eagle powers right as he sees them. He starts beating the shit out of Ramses, and then as Ramses is running away out of the ring,
Out of
trying to get
fear.
away from him,
Yeah.
Jack Black goes into eagle flight,
Mhm.
straight up does a, like a beautiful dive to
It's
get
really well, actually.
Ramses. Oh my god, it's
It's
beautiful.
really good form.
And then he just knocks him out cold.
Mhm.
Uh, and
It's so good, and the
it
whole time the music's going, and the score for this film was completely original also,
I love
which
that one song they do play at the end.
yeah, like his kinda little theme song,
I
the, like,
think
I
I
am.
am,
But,
I am.
so, I mean, through this whole movie, the music just really fit and everything, and the tone was really well, and it just fit
Mhm.
for the whole location and everything. It just sounded perfect.
Yeah.
And, it was actually originally, it was composed by Beck because that's who Hess wanted to do it, was Beck.
Beck, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Love
And
Beck.
then later on, Paramount, because they were one of the production companies for it, was like, "No, Beck doesn't match." Um, and so then they moved to Danny Elfman after that.
Well, Danny Elfman's also incredible.
Well, yeah, but then, so
Dan
Danny Elfman did it, but they kept some of Beck's work in the movie still, that he did,
Ooh,
and in the final film, they put Elfman down as the whatever, the guy that did the music.
composer.
Yeah, um, what I said. Um, but, upon seeing this, Danny Elfman actually got really mad, and he wanted his name to be completely taken out of the credits because it
What?
just, like, wasn't right, and he was like, "What the fuck? Nah, fuck that." And so then there was an agreement made where then, Danny Elfman and Beck were both in the credits as composer, like, in the final, like, whatever.
Wow. What a
Um
great, join
I know,
of
right? Isn't that cool? But they did so well, and you really
yeah.
couldn't like, I couldn't tell you which was which.
I mean, I really couldn't. Probably say more Beck than Elfman came to mind because when I think of Elfman, I'm thinking of the Batman, the Keaton Batmans. I'm thinking of Spider Man. He has such an iconic way of scoring, very vibrant, and this isn't super vibrant. It's very low
Ooh,
key in a way that Beck is.
I thought it was a really, really vibrant, and it was a lot more Danny Elfman.
Hmm. Okay.
I like 70-30 kinda thing.
Okay. Okay.
But,
Beck is
it
great.
was very similar. They both
Yeah.
just did really well in the movie either way.
The only movie I know Beck did composing for was, I think, Scott Pilgrim.
Only
I think
thing I know Beck for is almost sounding like back, but, so Jack Black wins, he knocks Ramses out cold in that really funny meme, that really funny scene, with the eagle thing,
Yeah,
and, I mean, I think that's really it, I mean,
yeah,
Jack Black wins the money, gets money for the orphanage,
they get the
the girl's
bus.
like, "Hey, you're so cute," yeah.
Yeah, that's it, and it's a decent movie. You know what movie does this exact same thing, but it has, like, no comedy, and also there's Mark Wahlberg?
What?
I think it's Mark Wahlberg. I think
What?
it's called Peanut Butter Falcon.
I don't know. Is that the, like, sledding one or something like that?
No, it's the one where, like, I think it's Mark Wahlberg has a mentally disabled brother, and he really likes to wrestle, and he's really shit at wrestling, but at his last match, he just starts, like, twirling the dude above his head for, like, no apparent reason, and it's supposed to be, like, a feel-good story because he just gets, like, superpowers out of nowhere, and he can just,
Oh,
like, become an awesome wrestler,
okay.
and I've been told by some of the worst people that it's the best movie ever.
Good to know. But this movie, first of all, it was really good. I think now it's really received a lot better and thought of a lot better than the
Yeah,
reviews were. I'm not
it's
sure quite
aged
what
like
the
fine
audience
wine.
reviews were, but I know the critic reviews, like we said, were 40%.
Yeah.
Um, there weren't any plans. Jack Black and Hess kinda talked about, like, behind closed doors, about a sequel, and Jack Black has gone on the record saying he wants to, but that was way back in 2009, and as of now, still, there's been no talk or anything for a Nacho Libre 2. Um
Let's be honest,
Mm.
Nickelodeon's doing a Good Burger too. It's not out of the realm of
Yeah.
possibility.
Oh, it's definitely possible, but I think they're gonna well, I don't know. Because they might try to do more live action movies again.
Mhm.
Um, just, like, since the Barbie movie took off, they might do, like, I can see God, what was it? Hey Arnold or, like, Little Rascals.
Yeah. I can see that. I think
Little Rascals,
yeah.
the
Nickelodeon is trying to
Rugrats,
stick with
that one.
smaller movie budgets. They're doing really good with that, especially since we were talking about how low the budget was on, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
How much did this cost, do you know?
Oh, I can look it up. I have the ability.
Oh
But,
my god, we can do that? We have the budget?
Nacho Libre budget was a well, it gives me 2 numbers here. It gives me okay, $35,000,000 to make this, cheap, pretty
That's
good.
Yeah, actually, like, with an M?
Yeah,
Okay, that's actually not that bad.
and but, like, really, really good.
Yeah.
Um, that's keep in mind when Jack Black wasn't what he is now. Jack
Yeah,
Black costs more.
this was before Gulliver's Travels.
His breakout role.
God, do you remember that movie?
Yes, I remember that movie.
God, that's so we should watch that one next. I mean,
I'm
not maybe not next, but another Jack Black movie, that'd be good.
I'm down, I'm down, I'm down.
Um,
Um,
yeah, for this movie, what do you think its strong suit is?
I think strong suit, I think as a visual comedy, it's really good. Not as in like, it has a lot of comedy that's delivered visually. It's mostly dialogue based. But I think it's very pretty for it being a comedy. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think it has very niche sort of humor that I think is missing nowadays, and that's why people are looking at it fondly because it's very unique.
I agree with that, like, a lot of movies now, their characters or their comedies at least, their kind of span of jokes will be so broad because they just kinda wanna get into every niche that it's kind of lost in the character about, like, kinda who they are
Yeah.
and in their personality versus this, like, Nacho kind of, stays in his lane. It's not like he sticks to one joke and one kind of joke, but it's all in the same genre, like,
Yeah.
it's all in the same neighborhood, and it all works with each other, and it makes sense, and he
Mhm.
doesn't just jump to conclusions with it.
Yeah.
And we just really need more comedies like this because honestly, even now, comedies are more of just like action movies with jokes thrown in. Like
Mhm.
they're just because of how cinematic and blockbustery the industry has gotten,
Mhm.
comedies don't seem like they fit into that role almost when you're looking at it like that.
I think you're right. Yeah, we sort of lost a traditional comedy. This is one of the last movies that really came out that felt like a Saturday Night Live movie. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the sort of feeling you get with maybe Happy Gilmore or Talladega Nights. I don't
Yeah,
know
you
why
did
that's a
it.
tongue twister.
Yeah. I
Um,
know what you're saying though, like yeah, sloppy Joe.
yeah. Night at the Roxbury. What other ones are like that?
The last episode. I hate SNL. It's really not funny.
Night Live isn't funny, but they made good movies. Hot Rod is a Saturday Night Live movie.
It's not an SNL movie.
It's with a ton of SNL people.
That doesn't mean it's an SNL movie.
The SNL movie is either a movie that was expanded from an SNL bit, or I count it as a movie that just has a lot of SNL people.
Okay, is there an SNL bit about slavery?
There's several. There has to
Probably.
be. Fans, if you can send us a link on our Gmail page in our link tree of a Saturday Night Live bit about slavery, I'd love that.
Speaking of, all our socials and our email, all gonna be in our bio above there. So if you wanna follow us, send us a message or give us a movie
Yeah.
recommendation, you can all do it there.
Just don't look at who we're following on Twitter.
Don't look at the liked. It's not hidden. We don't run it. We
That's Dr. Wham.
don't look it's just please.
Dr. Wham runs all our socials. We don't have any control over what's liked on our pages. Do you have any last words or should we rate it?
No, I really don't have anything else I wanna say about the movie. Overall, I'm thinking, honestly, I'm thinking of 4. Like, this
Mhm.
feels just like a really easy movie to just throw on anytime, and kinda jump in. All the comedy works, and you don't need a lot of context for the jokes.
Mhm.
Um, the physical comedy is really funny, and those sped up shots and everything work, and just because of how ridiculous it is, but because it's Jack Black and because the environment it's in, it all completely works, and it's not over the top or forced, and you don't feel like you're treated like an idiot for watching this movie.
Yeah. I have to agree with you. I'm probably gonna give it a 4 myself. It's very I don't even know what to say. It feels like home. It's a home movie. Not
Yeah,
as in it's like a movie made for watching at home, but it's very comforting and it's very simple, but it delivers everything brilliantly and it's surprisingly beautiful. It's just a very, very good movie.
yeah, I mean, it's just it's a movie about a boy like someone realizing what they wanna do and then following their dreams, and then
Yeah.
if you start from that core, it branches out a bit, but it really doesn't go too far from that, and because of it, it's just such a strong story and narrative, and the characters work in it.
Mhm.
And this kind of story has been told so many times, but because this coat of paint on it is so vibrant and so unique, it's just totally withheld the test of time because especially because of where it is, like set location wise, is fairly timeless because you can be like, all right, that town probably doesn't have like internet connection or something because they're way out there or something like that, you know?
Trick to make your movie timeless. Film it in poor areas.
Yeah, dude, that's why you know,
That's why our
iRobot
production studio is set,
in a field.
it's set in Kenya.
God, it's hot here. The Beatles are the size of my foot.
I thought you meant like John Lennon.
Oh my god.
Just a tiny little John Lennon.
Guys, I'm in Kenya and I found tiny John Lennon out here. What is he
How's it
doing? How'd he
going?
get all the way out here? Help me.
This is where I was hiding.
I've been lost for so long. My little legs can't walk very fast.
Ringo put me here.
And then you just hear like and it like "Help me." Um but yeah, so fours from both of us. Nacho Libre, just a really solid movie to put on. You
Yeah,
can watch with the family and watch with like younger kids and everything, and I think it'll just work for everybody.
yeah.
And now, finishing with that, what do you have for news?
I have some few things for news, but do you have any little news for us, Nick? Any announcement?
No,
Nothing about any occupational changes?
no, because I might quit soon. So
Okay, yeah, okay, I'll cut that. Leave that in, please leave that
no, because Tash
in.
listens to it. I can't.
Oh, okay, okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So, but I'll just
the
say it again.
yeah,
It's fine.
okay,
Yeah. Anyway, go into your news thingy.
yeah. The biggest news that's probably happening right now is 2 things. 1, Dune is been delayed. It's not gonna release until about March 2024. That's the bad
Woo!
that's the bad news, but it
Oh,
comes with good news
oh no.
because shut up. Because that spot is now completely vacant for what was gonna be, IMAX and was gonna be a large full release, in its place, Killers of the Flower Moon, which is Martin Scorsese's next film, is going from having a limited release on, I think, October 13th to having a full wide world release, on IMAX and every other type of theater, on October 20th when Dune was supposed to be. Really huge news. I was really excited to watch it. I'm glad I get to see it on a larger screen, and it's It looks like it's gonna be really good. Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Brendan Fraser. It has a very good cast to it, and obviously it's with Martin Scorsese. There's a news I think I you are probably gonna like. Um, Pretty soon we're gonna have shows like Loki, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and other Disney Plus shows start releasing not only on Blu-ray but also 4K DVD.
Ooh, I do
Th
like that.
Yeah, Nick is a big fan of just, like, physical releases in general.
I love digital media. I love plastic.
This is just really good because getting streaming original shows just in any sort of physical media allows it to be preserved better, especially
Mhm.
with, uh, Nick's little tragedy that happened with Close Enough.
Oh, it's so sad. Close Enough, for those of you who don't know, is the sequel to Regular Show by, like, the same guy who made it on Cartoon Network and everything,
Mhm,
and it was an HBO Max exclusive, and in the months leading up to HBO Max transitioning into Max, they had been dropping, a lot of shows and movies and stuff off their service just to get around royalties, stop paying them.
mhm,
And one of the shows they cocked off was Close Enough, that sequel, and it was a good show, people enjoyed it, there were 2 seasons, season 3 was in the works, and then they dropped it, and since it was an HBO Max original, it didn't really go anywhere.
it
Like,
was
you
never
couldn't really watch
released.
it anywhere, and I'm not sure if it did. Is it on, like, Amazon or something now? I don't even know.
Uh,
But,
I I I don't think it's on Amazon. I
like,
could check if it is. That
I
would
mean
be where it went.
I don't know, either way, but, the point is, like, if any movie and show like that can be taken away immediately, and with how big streaming's gotten, especially in the last few years,
Mhm,
with all these direct to streaming movies and shows, those things can't be preserved properly without physical media, because at any moment, that company can go under, and then they can no longer license these and have their servers up, and then those movies are
mhm.
just gone. You
Yep.
can't do anything about it. Even if that service has something where you can download it, it's downloaded on their servers and, like, streamed to your computer. You're gonna have it downloaded to your PC a lot of the time,
Yeah.
and if you do, it's a proprietary file that only their software can open. So doing this allows you to even then, you can get the disk and then burn it into your computer if you wanna keep it digitally, but you always have a physical copy you can go back to, or you can keep renewing that digital media yourself to
Yeah.
just preserve it, but it's really important overall because if we leave physical media, it's really easy to lose things. I mean, we all lose shit in our phones or whatever, a camera
Yeah.
roll, and just imagine that for every fucking film ever made,
Mhm.
even considering the
Yeah.
hundreds and thousands being pumped, like, onto the internet right now.
Mhm. There was a statistic I read earlier about how we lost 90% of all silent films.
Wow, really? Like Gone Gone?
Yeah, I mean, they were very disposable back then. Some places were even told after you're done with it. Well, places in Alaska were told, "Hey, it's way too much effort for you to just send us the film back," and that was never preserved when it was sent back. So they were told to just bury it behind the theater whenever they were given the reels. And they
Mm,
found a huge, like, basically archaeological dig of all that film where they could preserve stuff that they thought was gone.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but we've lost 90% of silent film, and we've lost a lot of, obviously, talkies as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Digital media and just forms of archiving need to be done in every way possible.
even in, like, in recent cases, like Toy Story 2, that movie, when they
Mhm.
were
You're
looking to
right.
move it from, theatrical to digital, I think,
This was when they were
or
actually finishing the cut, I think.
Or it maybe, I don't remember, but,
Mhm.
either way, in some step of distribution, that something happened, an error, and, the movie was completely wiped from the servers at Pixar. No one had any copies of, Toy Story 2, and so the movie would have been completely lost if
If
this
not for one
woman
pregnant lady.
who had illegally pirated the movie from her work, um just had that copy because it was an illegal copy, but it was now the only and,
Mhm.
now the official copy of Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
So, if you ever watch Toy Story 2 on streaming or a DVD made after, I'll say 2010,
Mhm.
um, it's probably A illegally pirated version of a legal movie that a woman got at work.
Now, Nick, it sounds like you're trying to justify piracy here.
Hey, I don't have scurvy, but listen. No, piracy is bad, especially with just, how easy it is on the internet with just going online, typing in, like, download free movies now, and just with how many, like, abundant sites and ad blockers you can do to protect yourself, while you're doing so. It's
Uh,
just really scary,
it's
even with
horrible.
things like Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, um, with such easy emulators to get, such as Ryujinx.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
sc
crazy. Things like it's
it's
scary out there, really,
it
for the businessman. You just can't lose that bottom dollar.
it's absolutely scary how easy it is to download a VPN.
Yeah, I mean, just an insane world with that. In all seriousness, piracy can obviously harm the industry in really huge ways, but it
And
does
your computer.
realistically just have a part in preservation, especially
Mhm.
like even for games and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, especially for Nintendo games, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
But
Um,
do you have any other news besides that? Or kind of went on a tangent.
guess what's happening in Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. Oh, what?
Um I'd like to take that as that's your response. There are people shouting Brooklyn in the streets of Brooklyn. Um,
Brooklyn. Yeah.
oh, a McDonald's in Brooklyn is being designed to, resemble its original, structure in 1982 as promotion for Loki, and they're doing a big as featured in segment for McDonald's right now, just to say, hey, we're doing like an official deal with Loki, but here are also all the other movies that McDonald's has been featured in.
It
Weirdly
sucks.
enough, they didn't add Pulp Fiction to that list.
Yeah, I saw that.
What? How
What the fuck?
stupid!
I don't know. I guess it's not
Le
very
Big
family
Mac.
friendly.
Yeah, but they added Devil's a part timer. That's not family friendly
Whatever.
either.
They
Um,
didn't even make their own sauce for it. They just repackaged the sweet and spicy one
uh,
for Loki.
stupid.
Yeah, it is. It's really stupid. So stupid, I'm boycotting food. That's right, America. No more.
Well, you might not want to boycott yet because the price of this meal that they're serving at the 1980s McDonald's will have 1980s price. It's going to be $2.54 to get a large drink, large fries, and a Big Mac.
All right, America. I'm back. This time with an appetite. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
don't know
good
how that's
marketing
gonna work.
strategy.
They're definitely gonna run out of food really fast because someone's gonna be like, "Give me 80."
They're probably I mean, it's in Brooklyn, they already probably have a huge,
Yeah, they I
back
guess they were
supply,
planning for it,
and
but
since
that's
they're
really
doing it
cool.
at this one location, I
We
imagine
should
they're
do
keeping
that,
that.
but with, like, all of the fast food places and restaurants and stores at
Ever.
once, and then if we all just do it at once, we'll all be on the same page, and so we don't have to do that
You
anymore.
know how we, like, recently had a national movie day where, it was $4 for a ticket?
I did.
Can we do that with, like, National Food Day where every burger's, like, a dollar?
See, I do that every day where I just steal. "Oh,
Well,
a check? No, thank you."
what?
Like, they put the check down, just be, "No, I'm okay."
Oh. Well, I don't usually wait for the check to come to me when I'm eating at, like, a Whataburger.
Oh, you just, like, leave before?
Well, they make you pay before you get the food.
I just keep walking around a table. We play Ring Around the Rosie for, like, 5 minutes like it's Scooby Doo until the
Yeah.
food gets out, and then I gotta get to it before they can.
Uh, there's, I guess, one other piece of news. This is a little big, but it's hard to think about because this was old news that just got an update.
Yeah.
Um, did you ever hear about the lawsuit against the movie Yesterday?
I don't, but oh, I did hear what about The Blind Side we gotta talk about after this, but yeah, go on.
Oh yeah, The Blind Side.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So the trailer for Yesterday, which was that movie about the guy who was in a world where everybody forgot the Beatles.
Mm.
It's not good. I've seen it. In the trailer, they showed an actress, Ana de Armas. She's known for being in, Blade Runner 2049. She appeared in the trailer, she never appeared in the movie, so 2 guys sued them saying, "Hey, we went to see that chick and she wasn't in it. That was false advertising." That lawsuit was going on for years, and then, the judge just dismissed it, saying, "Y'all are stupid. Just go back to doing your job."
Man,
I think
that
that's a fair
sucks.
case. I think
I
it's
think, yeah, that's a completely fair case. I saw this and I went, "Ooh, I love her. I'll go see her in the movie." And if
and
she's
then she
not in the
wasn't in the
product at
movie.
all, that is a lie.
Mhm. It's pretty lame. It
That's
might
not
get
okay.
reintroduced, but we'll have to see. Blindside, though,
Yeah.
do you remember much of this story?
So I don't remember the
Mhm.
details about the actual movie and the real story it's based on, but basically what it is, there's this, there's this black kid who's an orphan, and he's really good at football, and he plays a lot, and these 2 people basically adopt, this almost adult, and it's kinda odd, and they help him, whatever, play more football and get really good, and he gets into the NFL.
Yeah.
Um, and whatever, really heartwarming story. I don't remember all the details, but it's good. You should go watch the movie. But the family portrayed in the movie, and I think they might have even played themselves, actually, I'm not really sure,
Yeah.
um, were just in it for the money. A lot of stuff has come out recently that when that movie did come out, I think it's about 2007, 2009, the black guy, whatever, I forget his name, the black football player guy that's in the movie, the main character,
Mhm.
got very little to almost no money from the
Mhm.
movie and all the promotional stuff that happened,
He was
and I think there was a
also
book,
yeah.
like, there was a lot, and he didn't see any of it, and the parents just took all that money, and there's a lot of stuff and even some conversations, I think, that have been unearthed that just shows that it's just kinda been that from the start and how they acted and what some other people have said
Mhm.
about them, that they've just been it for the money the whole
Yeah.
time, and they saw this person with a gift for football and a talent, and they just completely took advantage of that,
Mhm.
and so now I believe I'm not sure if there's a lawsuit moving now or if they're going towards one to a lawsuit,
Yeah.
but just to get him the money that he's owed because that's
Mhm.
horrible. It's really shitty.
More importantly, they, were granted ownership of him in
Mhm.
a way that was, portrayed to be just another form of adoption, but you've seen this sort of, ownership before. It's basically saying that this person isn't, right in the head, they don't have, real agency over
Yeah.
themselves, so
It's what
this
happened
parent
to, Britney.
it is what happened to Britney. That was the real kicker. It was just the idea that this guy just had no ownership over his own ability.
Yeah,
Um,
he didn't even own his likeness, I think.
no.
Like, they owned his name and all that and everything just because it was such a media, crazed story and it went everywhere.
Mhm.
Um, they just owned his whole life, and I can't imagine, how hard feeling that is because I'm sure they had a thing where it's like, "Hey, if you, say anything about, how raw this deal is, we won't give you any money at all,"
Yeah, it's
or,
full
something like
power
that.
over him.
Yeah, which is really horrible, but you should definitely, if you're going to illegally download that movie, but I didn't tell you to. Um,
Yeah.
Dave Michael told you. Dave Michael at gmail.com. 925-382-5964. That's 925-382-5964.
Well, guys, I have one last announcement.
Go.
Uh, if anybody's in Austin, if you go to the ATX showcase on 9/11, uh, a short film of mine will be playing, for the September selection. I'm Frogger, or I worked on Frogger if you wanna see it. If
You're
not,
fr
that's fine. Uh,
you're him?
yeah,
Can I get an autograph?
I am Frogger.
Dude, say the line.
Ribbit.
Oh my god, it's him. Oh.
Besides that, that's been pretty much it. This might end up being our longest episode.
Yeah, this would definitely be a little bit of a long one, but,
It's definitely because
we'll
I
cut it
tried
up.
to see Jack Black's penis.
Hey, man, we all make mistakes in the heat of passion.
Jimbo. Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you everybody for listening. This has been Wham,
You've been whammed.
and we see you guys next time. Nacho.
Achoo!